and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Gallagher. Mary Catherine Gallagher. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's great.
Tonight, New York City played host to the legendary Al Smith Dinner, an annual event. Every 4 years, candidates for president take part in a comedic roast that aims to bring lightheartedness to the stage while also includes subtle attacks. Despite Vice President Harris's departure from tradition by not being there in person, she did record a funny video that was aired. It was Donald Trump who really broke with the norm of that lighter humor. As is customary with Donald Trump, he totally lost it. The absence of Vice President Harris just served to inflame his already raging anger, and he went completely ballistic throughout this whole speech. Not only could he not speak, but if he did, he became very unruly, yelling at the crowd and even starting to swear. The whole thing was a humiliating disaster for Donald Trump. A quick like on this video would mean a lot to me before we get into anything. In case you haven't done so already, if you're interested in joining the community we're building on this channel, please subscribe. It has a significant impact on me. Vice President Harris did, in fact, record a video message to be shown. I mentioned it before, and it was rather funny. Before we go into Donald Trump's disastrous fall, let's hear Vice President Harris out.
Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Gallagher. Mary Catherine Gallagher. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. Tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, 'cause Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Now, there's the kind of playful taunting that we usually expect from candidates. Vice President Harris mocking Donald Trump for attacking Detroit when he was there, among other insults. But Donald Trump has none of that self-control. He decided to vent his frustrations as loudly as possible since, I think, we already knew that. He was clearly losing it, as he failed miserably at reading most of the jokes his staff had written for him. It was clear he hadn't reviewed this speech beforehand. It was completely out of hand. Straight to the point.
To it.
The two candidates for president are supposed to exchange good-natured barbs. And, you know, we get along very well. I didn't like Biden very much, and now I like him quite a bit, you know. And now I say that she's much worse than him. He was a much better candidate than her, actually. And when we hopefully win, dispose of her, I like her a lot, but right now I can't stand her. It's true. I can't stand. I've never liked people that I was competing against. When you do, a lot of bad things happen, and we are doing well. By the way, the votes are starting to come in. You got to get out and vote. And Catholics, you got to vote for me. Just remember. You better remember I'm here, and she's not. I could have done that too.
With many of the same tired passages and antics, this is really simply Donald Trump's first campaign speech. On the other hand, his lack of enthusiasm is obvious. He seems bored, sluggish, and unmotivated. That energy, however, started to build up as he became furious and started assaulting his favorite targets. After all, nothing thrills Donald Trump more than expressing his wrath and inspiring terror. We caught a glimpse of it since the crowd was really laughing at him for what he said.
Looked at me and said, "Don't." Does anybody understand that? Yeah. I thought it was actually very good until just now. It was announced this morning that at a funeral yesterday, in a rare moment of clarity, Joe told Barack Hussein Obama that, quote, only a few people got that. Or as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, bro? He was a piece of work. We miss him. But as he told Barack Hussein Obama, quote, "She's not as strong as me. She's not as strong. Do you understand that?" And Obama agreed, saying, "That's true. Other than that, I think the Democrats are getting along quite well." Right? Nobody got that one.
Apparently, Donald Trump thinks Barack Obama gets away with it. President Obama is always an option. I don't believe Donald Trump has been able to get over this gesture at the DNC that we spoke about earlier today, given his modest audience numbers and maybe something else very little. But is he really taking on Obama's role? Is there not enough of this among us? Do we not get sick of hearing about how Donald Trump is going completely bonkers? Not only is it annoying, but it's also weird. Just this very moment, he was griping about that same thing.
In any event, it's a weird. You know the word weird. They call me weird. They call JD weird. We're very solid people.
You may want to try avoiding the limelight if you'd want us to quit calling you weird. Maybe you'll just forget about responding to us. Maybe you'll never have to worry about seeming orange-faced. Maybe it would help. We're sick of you just as much as you are. We might then stop replying to you and receiving your messages. We have been, and will continue to be, sensitive to your vulnerabilities. Donald had several, including your reading disability, which was on full display throughout the address. But once again, Donald Trump became furious with the teleprompters because, well, he's not great at reading from scripts and much worse at speaking in general.
Thank you very much. It's an honor. And they told me under no circumstances are you allowed to use a teleprompter. And I got up here and I see there's this beautiful teleprompter. So here I am.
That further exemplifies Trump's basic lack of self-control and the chaos inside his campaign. Donald Trump is continuously bringing up his cognitive decline and the teleprompter, even though he doesn't really need it because he reads from it. Like always, Donald Trump is completely out of control, but he really lost it when he started yelling at the audience, as I said before. See below.
I'm surprised that Bill de Blasio was actually able to make it tonight, to be honest. He was a terrible mayor. I don't give a shit if this is comedy or not. He was a terrible mayor. He did a horrible job.
Trump probably couldn't tell you anything about his administration's operations, and Mayor Bill de Blasio is clearly disliked. To this day, I still think that Bill de Blasio's 2020 presidential campaign is Donald Trump's biggest pet peeve. Once again, we have a guy whose insanity is brought about by Vice President Harris and who cannot tear himself away from his grievances and annoyances. Everyone in the Democratic Party seemed to be constantly on Donald Trump's mind. Even more so now that Vice President Harris and her campaign have made fun of him, he can no longer take it. That they have started playing Trump video at VP Harris rallies is one reason. Their goal is to discredit him entirely. You should watch the whole film to observe Vice President Harris's response, which serves as a perfect illustration.
We'll no longer be thinking about abortion.
Everybody wanted it. And I did it. Because for 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. And so the women thing, I did a great thing long term, and I think they'll understand, on the Roe v. Wade. I did a great thing. I want to talk about IVF.
Okay. The courts will take care of that. Let's take care of November. We'll take care of November. Now, I mean, seriously. So, first of all, no, Donald, everybody did not want Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Women are dying of sepsis because they cannot get the health care they need. They did not want this. Couples just trying to grow their family are being cut off in the middle of IVF treatments. They did not want this. And now, I mean, it just gets more unbelievable sometimes. And now the man calls himself the father of IVF? I mean, what does that even mean? And in all of that, well, he is the one who, by the way, is responsible for it being at risk in the first place.
This is an excellent strategy for VP Harris's campaign. How untamed. On debate night, Vice President Harris extended an invitation to see a Trump rally in addition to his interviews, speeches, and town halls. Since we see them daily, we are aware of how absurd they are. Keep showing them and making the comparison between Donald Trump, who claims to be a protector of women in the most bizarre way imaginable, and VP Harris, who merely seeks to restore a woman's right to choose over her own bodily autonomy. She wants nothing to do with you and wants to make your own decisions. Mind your own damn business, says her running partner Tim Walz. That's going to be the daily topic of discussion on this podcast, because it's exactly what we need more of. You can always help out by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing, and if you made it this far, leaving a heart-shaped remark. You may expect to see me again soon.